Shalom, family. It's me, Zion, and this is another episode of 2 a.m. Confessionals, family. And today, I want to touch on the topic of family. That's right, your close family. And let's go ahead and throw friends in there too. When it comes to you believing in trusting solely in the Most High, Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, who some like to refer to as Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahweh, or Yahuwah. All right, family, now I am no stranger to the disrespect when it comes from your very own family. Okay? Now, some people may not tell you this in the truth, but I'm definitely going to tell you, because it would not be wise of me to hold on to information that I can share with somebody else, whether they may go through these things or maybe they might know someone who is going through it, right? So they can help. Because after all, we're supposed to help each other. The nation of Israel, to include the sojourner. All right, let's get into it. Family and friends. Hefty topic. All right, family. So I came into the truth of November 2022, right? Now, that was met with a little bit of side eye from my father, right? A little bit of distancing from my sister, and a little bit of questioning from my Ima. And of course, like cousins and stuff, they disown me. I ain't gonna lie. And my aunts and my uncles, family, especially the aunts and uncles, they are the pastors in the churches. God. All right, family. So, with me transitioning from Christianity, which I really didn't learn anything in there but JC is the Savior, which is false, into being still a Messianic. A Messianic and a Christian is the same thing. I don't care what nobody tell me it's the same thing, because you believe in the same deity. Just allegedly with different skin shades, which is still not true. But anyways, so with that being said, family, now dealing with people in your family who look at you as being in a cult, they become very nasty and disrespectful to you. I had one family member, right, invite me to a surprise birthday party for their mother, right? So they text me and wanted me to come and do that, and I let them know, due to my faith, my beliefs, and Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, that I don't honor or celebrate birthdays. That's what I don't do, right? As a Torah-keeping Israelite. So they text me back and said, "Why? Are you serious? Cuz that's weird. You're being weird, but whatever." So I responded to them, my smart mouth, Anyways, I was like, "Oh, well, shalom. I see that what I said to you is upsetting, and I understand that you don't understand or believe what I believe. But one day, you may, Yah willing, or one day, Yah will pay you back for your deed to your face. However, with you saying whatever to my beliefs and what I believe, you should definitely lose my number, because I'm losing yours. Don't ever try to reach out again." And I deleted that text and blocked that person. I sure did, family. But yeah, so it was like that. And then I got kicked out of the film reunion little messenger chats, right? So as I'm noticing that stuff transitioning for me in my life, I also started to notice how my family members commented lesser and lesser and lesser on my posts, right? And I noticed how they would like be talking in the comment section about something, but my name be tagged in the post, but it's like it just be weird. And then I had one friend from high school. She made a post and said something to the lines of seeing someone grow up and then get their self absorbed into a cult is sad, right? So, I unfriended that person. But yeah, so within 2022 of November throughout December 2023, my family and my friends have all removed themselves from my social media, right? To include my ob and my sister, right? But my email, she doesn't have social media, so that is what that is. With all that happening, I began to notice as well throughout my readings also that the biggest cult members within a religion are those who subscribe to the New Testament, are those who subscribe to foreign deities, are those who follow other nations' traditions to submit to an Elohim whom Yah knows not. If anybody can sit there and tell you that they eat bread as a symbolic symbol to eating flesh of a man who so-called died for their sins, if anybody can sit there and tell you that they drink wine, red wine now, it ain't no other color, it's always red or dark grape color, right? And they drink this to symbolize the blood that this false man-made God shed for them on a stake, right? Because they feel as if that's a cleansing of their sins and their way out of every type of demonic spiritual being that was attached to their flesh while they were here in Babylon. Those are really the cult members, like honestly speaking. And I don't understand why family and friends do not seem to get that part. And it's like, I think they do kind of get it sometimes, and that's very, very, very slim. I'm giving them too much credit, right? But I think they get it sometimes, family. And Yah allows them to have a little winky little eye to see the truth, but then they hear it being shut their eyes really quick because they don't want to accept the truth. So whenever your family and your friends do things like that, family, they put you in a position to choose your covenant with Yod-Heh Wahed or choose them over your covenant, right? That's what they do. Now, me growing up, so me growing up being not the most popular, not the most invited person to events and things like that throughout childhood all the way through early stages of college, right? I've already been transitioned to be able to detach from people, right? So I don't have that emotional tie, that emotional stronghold, like I just have to be at the reunions and I want you to accept me. Let me come. I never been the type to do that because I've always been somebody to walk in my own purpose and not allow anybody else to dictate how I move. And that's just period, point blank, right? Now, when you put me in the truth, Yod-Heh Wahed, hallelujah. When you put me in the truth, that same passion, that same mindset, that same level of discernment I had then is magnified in the truth, right? Because ain't nobody gonna sit here and tell me that I can't come to dysfunction because of my faith, right? Because I'm like, okay, well, chuck up the deuces. I don't want to be there, period. It ain't that, oh, I don't be doing no, oh, I don't want to be there because of da-da-da-da-da-da. No, I'm not one of them. I used to be, but I'm not, right? But it's like, cool, because I already know that light and dark don't mix. I already know that I don't need you as a person to make it in my walk. Because you have to be concrete and understanding, people, that Yah will remove obstacles from you so that you can walk into your purpose clearly without stumbling, which would be stumbling blocks, right? And sometimes, 9 times out of 10, let me correct myself. 9 times out of 10, those stumbling blocks will be your family, will be your friends, will be associates, to include sometimes your employer, right? Or business partners, however you want to put it, right? So, with Yah using my Ab as a test and against me, that just showed me that, hey, Baht of Zion, you can choose to submit to this individual who helped conceive you, because he did not create you, who helped conceive you and dishonor me. Or, Baht of Zion, you can sit here and remember how the parties were when you was out with your friends. Remember how you was driving fast all up and down the streets. Remember how you were getting drunk and lit in the clubs. Remember how you was out here just talking about you want to go to the movies and stuff and just out being a zanah. Or you can be like, remember how you used to hop from this job to this job to this job to this job and not have any type of financial security. You can choose all that stuff over me, Baht of Zion. But you have to remember, in your choosing, you need to choose life over death. And everything right there displayed to you, family, friends, associates, anything that detaches itself from Yah, anything that does not submit to Yah, anything that does not honor and show reverence to the Most High Yod Het Wah Het, is your death. And I'm showing you that to your face, because so many Israelites, family, fall weak to those emotional bondage that they have with family, friends, loved ones, etc. I'm giving you a purpose to be better, to be different. Okay? Now, I'm not saying, family, that you need to just stop talking to everybody. That's definitely not what I'm saying, family. What I'm saying is that if you could sit back and look at your life, or just go to Facebook, because everybody on Facebook, because I know I'll be looking, right? So I'll be on my Facebook, and his pictures come down my news feed, right? You see different Israelites being at holiday functions, dressed up for Halloween, sitting down at Thanksgiving meals, passing around Christmas gifts, celebrating birthdays. You see them being all just family oriented with people who are not in the truth, because Yah did not wake up them to come into the truth, right? You see that, but you know that the person in the middle of the photo is an Israelite, right? Sometimes they have on their fringes, zeke. Sometimes they do not. I don't know if it's an embarrassment thing, or they don't want to be talked about, or they want to fit in. I don't know. But whenever I see photos like that, family, right? I think to myself, you are still trapped by the wanting to belong. You're still trapped by the wanting to be accepted in what you believe by the people you love, right? But at the end of the day, the darkness does not love the light. Demons do not love the truth. You know? And no, I'm not calling those people, family, friends, and all that type of stuff, I'm not calling them demons at all. What I'm saying is what the Most High Yah said. Rebellion is a form of wickedness. And who do you know portrays wickedness at its best? That's Hashatan and the agents working for Hashatan, right? And going throughout this life, I have to remember that everyone I encounter with while being in Babylon is a test. It's a test. This whole world is a test. It's a test by Yah. Yahweh put us strategically in positions, right? Where we are separated, the 1/3, right? Where we are separated from each other, spread it out 4 corners. He did that. He put us very, very few in little speckled spots amongst the 2/3, right? Now, we are supposed to graft and unite to our own. That grafting and that uniting to our own is being united to the 1/3, right? And the 1/3 could very well be the Israelites and the sojourners, right? So that's why it's hard for us to connect, because we have to always look and pay attention to the other ones who claim to be the 1/3 and see, are they really walking Torah completely, truthfully, 100% submitted to Yod He Wah He? Because from what I see on my own accord, family, is that a lot of those in the Torah community claim to be 1/3, right? But their actions show 2/3 behavior, right? So whenever you can look at that within another Israelite who claims to believe what you believe, right? Then you can see those same familiar spirits, patterns that were associated to your Ab, your Akats, your Ox, your Ima, and the Mishpaka, whom you came into creation with or from, right? Which would be your family or your longtime friends, right? So when you see those same traits, when you see those same characteristics, you have to be mindful and be able to put what you see in somebody on a shelf, categorize it, label it, and keep it stored there in memory but not forgotten, because you have to keep in mind that they are still struggling. Okay? They're still struggling. Maybe one day Yah will allow them to get it, right? Or maybe they are within that 70%, right? Who are not going to get it, or who get it and deny it, right? But yeah, now my interaction that I had with my Akodi, blood Akodi, right? She always wanna talk on the phone about God this, God that, and I know God died for my sins, and da 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 da. And I'm like, did he really? Well, whenever you get a chance, I want to go ahead and go over the precepts, because I want to make sure I have my holy scriptures in front of me, and you can have your holy scriptures in front of you, and we can definitely talk about these scriptures. And she'll cut me off real quick. I don't need to hear about none of that, because I know me and God have a personal relationship, and he is in my life, and he's protecting me and got me through so much stuff. And then she go to fussing me out, right, family? And then she hang up. And I start laughing. I'll be like, look at y'all. I said, y'all, you be having these people in spiritual delusions, and they'll come out and they'll say all type of stuff, blaspheme your name, and don't even realize they doing it, because they probably really don't care, because they're too stuck on being saved by somebody else, right? And then I have to call her back, family, right? I call her back, and guess what she do? Let the phone ring, let it go to voicemail. I call her back again. She send me the voicemail, then I'll send her a text, and I'll be like, look, you can't bring up God if you ain't ready to talk about God, because I'm not going to intake what you're telling me without showing you the facts. Because your mouth can say a lot of things. Your emotions can say a lot of things, right? But let's see what the black and white says. And then when you present the scriptures, family, to your family members and to your friends, you know they be like, the laws is done away with. The laws is done away with. That is their go-to for every little single thing. You know it is. That's their go-to for every little single thing. But you have to remind them, when did forever become temporary? When did my laws, my commandments are a forever command for the nation of Israel? When did that become temporary? And once the book was sealed, once the Tanakh was sealed, the Torah was sealed, how did a Gentile come and pry it open now, and rewrite a whole new covenant that is completely out of order, that is completely taking out precepts, twisting it all around, that is completely biting off of other prophets' wisdom, etc.? How can you go by that? But yet, 1/3 Israelites, we are told we are the ones in the cult, right? The New Testament, they tell you to let somebody slap you on the face, and you turn your other cheek and let them slap you on the other. But the Yah I serve, he said eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody beat you. That's what he said. Don't let nobody abuse you. Don't let the wicked prevail over the righteous. He said, judge accordingly. Judge accordingly. Judge by Torah. That's what he said. But yeah, family, that's all I wanted to say. Whenever y'all are going through this stuff out here in Babylon, because it's very much wicked mess, with your family, with your friends, your employers who be making you want to work, making you work on Shabbat and telling you that you can't have a day off and stuff. You know, it's a such thing, because I learned this, right, family? And I'm going to share it with you, because some mores, they will not, and they have not, from what I've noticed, right? They'll tell you all up and down, blue in the face, don't you go to work. You better not go to work on Shabbat. If you do, you're going to be cut off. You're going to be cut off. Now, there's this little thing, even though I know we are not the J letters, right? There's this little thing where they can go get this paper work. They can get it signed off of the more themselves, right? They could send it to you, and you could use that to get your Shabbats off. Okay, family? So don't allow people to scare you that you have to lose your job in order to honor Yah. You can still honor Yah and use their legal documentation, right, to keep yourself employed and to guarantee that you will have the holy day off. So you could still remain in your covenant with the Most High Yahweh. Okay? Always remember that. And then the funniest thing that I've come to realize as well, family, is why is it that a Muslim, a Christian, a Hindu, a Hinduite, a whatever, like all these other false religions, right? Why is it that people will take what they say? I honor Buddha, I honor Shiva, I honor JC, I honor Muhammad, all the other type of mess, right? They take that as face value, right? No questions asked, no paperwork, no nothing. You don't have to give me documentation. But as soon as you tell them that you are a Hebrew Israelite, right? Finding your way back to Yah, Teshuvah, right? Repentance, coming back, right? They require you give them all type of documentations, right? So they can make sure that you are being legit and you are being honest with what you are telling them. And they do that for a reason, family, because they do not want you to, first of all, return to Yod-Heh Wahe. They do not want you to do that, okay? Second of all, they want to continue to plow your back mentally, right? With all type of work that they can find for you to do, right? And thirdly, they want to keep you in error with Yah, keep you in error with your covenant to the point that you don't have no covenant no more with Yod-Heh Wahe. That's what they want to do, okay? So that's why they do that, family. But this wraps up episode 3 of 2 a.m. Confessionals with Dada Cyan. And I'll catch y'all at another one. Shalom, Erica.